How's it going, everyone? The 1MFP here. I hope you're all doing great and having a great day. Today, I come to you with a new reaction, and it's been a while. My last reaction, I'm pretty sure, was to Scaled and Icy by 21 Pilots. It was an album reaction, and now here we are almost 3 years later, and 21 Pilots are teasing their new album. And essentially, they've just come out with a teaser video called I Am Clancy. I'm assuming it's a teaser of some sort. It's definitely not a music video, but it is the length of one basically. 4 minutes and 4 seconds, which I mean is interesting in of itself because 404, that's got some significance. I know the Demo website at some point in time in the past had like an error 404 message, so that could signify something. But to be honest, I can't say that I really remember much of what was on the website, what I read on it, or anything of that nature. So I'm coming into this video pretty much with a blank slate as far as the Dema org stuff goes. So yeah, I'm not going to take much more of your time with an intro. I'm just going to jump into this video and react.
I am trapped, stuck in a cycle I've never been able to break. I want to believe this is the last time, but I don't know for sure. I'll start with what I do know. I am a citizen of an old city. Well,
Whoa, hold on. There's a lot of there's a lot of information being given really early here. So, I mean, pausing here, we have continent of Trench, sacred municipality of Dima, and the visuals. I mean, first of all, production value is really high, so that's really awesome to see. It matches a lot of what we saw with Trench. I could say that right off the bat. It's got like the same aesthetic, and even if you kind of pay attention to the location, I think you're kind of getting a sense that you're in the same places you were visiting in the Trench era videos. So that's pretty cool to see that type of continuity. I don't think that was ever going to be in doubt, though. This is kind of to be expected of 21 Pilots. They go all out when it comes to all of this. Already, we haven't talking about a cycle, being stuck in a cycle that he cannot break. That's something that goes way back to No Fun Intended, the self-titled album. You could hear him talking about being stuck in a cycle in some capacity, basically throughout all of 21 Pilots' discography and the earlier content as well. So that continuity is going to be there, but it's just awesome to see it happening here in real time.
they say it's old, but there's just no proof. I can feel my friends rolling their eyes. I'll keep it simple. I am a citizen of Dima, a circular cement city in the lower portion of an otherwise wild and green continent, Trench. We aren't allowed to go out there. Most haven't even seen it, but I have. I am an escapee, getting better at it with every attempt, but they always find me. Well, he does. Nico. Or Blurry Face is what he calls himself.
All right, so that's
He's the
literally a
leader of the
scene
9
from
bishops who
Jumpsuit.
govern the city. Their authority comes from 2 things: a miraculous power and a hijacked religion. One feeds the other. A cycle. It's called vialism, and all you really need to know is that it teaches that self-destruction is the only way to paradise. It also conveniently allows you to become an available vessel for the bishops to use. And that's where the miracle comes in. We call it seizing.
All right, so this is awesome right off the bat. Like, he's referencing so much in such little time. For one, I do think that a lot of what you get from the Dema org website is kind of being made readily available through this video, from what I could gather from what I'm seeing already. Because again, I don't really remember every bit of information that was on the website. But this is definitely jogging my memory a little bit. It's definitely a refresher of sorts. So I don't know how much I'm missing, how much context I'm missing, but I do feel like this is summarizing what you get from the website. I guess to the extent that it will help the listener have like that added value of the lore that was present on the website. It's kind of giving them the summary that will help them absorb the music that's to come in a bit of a different light. You know, again, if you go back to my 21 Pilots album reactions, I've said it time and time again, there is lore embedded in every album, and to some extent you could find it in each and every song, but it never really felt like you absolutely needed it to enjoy the music. I've always felt like the albums and the songs themselves made sense without the lore. There's definitely a lot that you could extract from it, a lot of meaning you could extract from it, a lot that you could relate to, without necessarily having the knowledge that pertains to the lore. But having that knowledge definitely adds some perspective to certain things. So to have that be made readily available through this video is pretty awesome. But then on top of that, we're already getting references like a mention of a vessel. So that's really cool because that's taking us back quite a few albums. The first official, I guess, 21 Pilots album, if you're considering regional at best, then the self-titled albums to not necessarily be official per se. But yeah, let's just jump right back into this.
We call it seizing. The rules are that you can only seize or control a dead body, and only for a short while. Also, they, the bishops, are the only ones who can do it. I am a citizen. I am an escapee. And I am an exception to the rule. Okay, this is what happened recently. I tricked Nico into taking me outside the walls. I created a fiery diversion. I escaped.
Complete diversion.
I wandered, grew weak, and was tracked down. But this drag path was different. I saw them. They watched me. The banditos. Legends, only stories of a group that lived out here. Shortly after being back inside the walls, my new people got me out. They needed me for something. They brought me in, taught me their colors, but the cycle was too strong. I was recaptured, back inside. I guess word got around. I became known in Dima. The bishops did not like this, but decided to use it to their advantage. They made me entertain the people, lie to them. They made me perform for them. Then Nico was betrayed.
Oh my.
And I escaped. Again. This time, I found myself at a new place, washed up on an island. And there, I was given a gift, thought to be extinct. I now had the same exact miraculous power they wielded from their towers. I am a citizen. I am an escapee. I am an exception. I am returning to Trench. I am Clancy.
Is that it? Oh man, that was epic. All right. How do I start this off, man? There's a lot to take in from that. I feel like I'm not doing it justice by just listening/watching this once. There's definitely a lot of information to extract from that video, that 4-minute long video. It's pretty impressive how much they managed to cram in there, and I do feel like anyone who has followed 21 Pilots on their journey and has, even somewhat followed the music videos and all of that, they're going to be completely blown away by this video and filled with intrigue. So that's definitely where I stand right now. I do find it a little bit suspicious that he reiterates the fact that he's an escapee, he's a citizen, as many times as he does. And even when he says, "I am Clancy," you kind of get the text in big, bold, red letters. I don't know. It's a little bit alarming. I don't know if we're supposed to trust him or if we're even supposed to trust that this is actually Clancy. But I suppose for now, we just kind of have to go with it. But it's really interesting how we revisit all those past videos and we're kind of seeing we're kind of seeing everything from a different perspective, right? We have him narrating what was going on at those points in time. We're finding out that the person we were following all this time was actually Clancy, whereas, back then we were really just trying to figure out who Clancy is, whether or not he's alive. So this definitely adds a lot of context to the information we had in the past. Now, the first thing I want to mention is just like the references that are made. He mentions vessel in the context of you conveniently become a vessel for the bishops to use through vialism, and furthermore through the process of self-destruction that entails from vialism. So even mentioning it in that context kind of makes you just want to go back to listen to Vessel and hear it out from that perspective. Ode to Sleep really introduces you to the concept of the cycle he's talking about, right? The cycle that he can't really seem to break, how he'll go through the day and then he's eventually brought back to the nighttime. Like, it's something that he can never truly escape. He's going to go through the nighttime and fight his demons, so to speak. As you listen through the album and you listen carefully, you notice that you're kind of experiencing that cycle. He's giving you details on what that cycle looks like. He's explaining what's the bad. He's explaining what he looks to get himself out of the bad. By the end of the album with Truce, he's bringing that metaphor back, right, with the night and day, and saying he'll have to fear the night again. It's just a cycle that he feels like he has to accept. He has to accept the bad with the good. The Truce there is almost like this acceptance of the bad, or the night, is just something he has to experience if he's ever going to see progress and get better. But then as you listen to other albums like Blurry Face, where by the end he's kind of describing the end of his battle with Blurry Face, and he feels like maybe he has a victory, but the war hasn't been won yet. He knows Blurry Face will come back and regain power, and that's kind of what we're seeing in this video as well. He's talking about how Nico always finds a way to find him. No matter what, the cycle just he can't seem to break it. As much as he feels like the bad is something he has to go through, the bad or the negative just doesn't really seem to lose its significance altogether. So he's not really feeling the progress that he wants to feel, which is, I think, where the complications arise here, where he's saying, he can never truly break free from Dima. Over time, we just come to find that Dima is the location he's created in his conceptualization of the experience of this cycle we talked about. When he's away from Dima, when he's beyond those walls, he's free to do and think what he wants. But then when he's brought back to Dima, there's just like these very specific guidelines to what is good and what is bad, and what is presented as good isn't necessarily good, he's come to find, especially if the rules they're going to live by are the rules of vialism, which preaches self-destruction for the benefit of what he calls the bishops. But ultimately, if we extrapolate from that and relate it to the things, the concepts we've talked about from albums dating back to the self-titled album, he just wants to make sure he's trusting the right thoughts, because he could easily be led to believe something that isn't necessarily true, and then dedicate his life to that. And if he were to do so, what becomes of his life? But then to bring it to a bit of a later portion in the video, we see Trash breaking Tyler and Josh free from a concert that they're holding, which, we come to find that they're holding against their own will. Basically, Clancy was forced to entertain people. So that's what that was, and Trash helped them break free from that. That said, right after that, we see the whole part where Nico gets betrayed seemingly by other bishops, right? The bishops betrayed Nico. But I guess that leads me to wondering, what does that actually mean? Because Nico has been a portrayal of Blurry Face, which was the portrayal of Tyler's negative thoughts. Does that mean the other bishops have taken over Nico's spot? Does that mean that Nico represented a certain type of struggle that Tyler experienced, and now that's kind of pushed back enough, or is basically a thing of the past altogether? That's just a demon he's defeated, and he no longer has that worry anymore. And now there's these whole set of other worries that have taken on more relevance and have become more significant in his life as a result of Nico disappearing. Is that what he's getting at? I'm not quite sure yet. I don't know if we've been provided with enough context yet to really draw any conclusions there. I'm guessing that this new album is going to be providing us with more context in that regard. And even before that, I'm guessing we're going to get a few music videos. I know that a lot of people have been theorizing that we'll be getting something on February 29th, which is at the time of me recording this video in exactly a week. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm definitely curious about it. I'll be watching closely. But yeah, I'll definitely have to rewatch this video a few times because there is a lot going on. There's a lot of references to past music videos, to, things that were said both in songs and outside of them, whether it was like on Dima.org or other material, basically. So I'm just interested to see how that all pieces together. There's definitely a lot going on here in this video that I want to understand before the next album drops. I think that's really the purpose, and that's really what they were going for with this video. I feel like for those who weren't really following the whole Clancy story, this is kind of a nice introduction that gives you enough of a summary that you're not going in blind to whatever they're giving you in the next album and whatever they're giving you with the music videos as well. To those who were following it to an extent and maybe forgot some things, I feel like this is kind of going to pique your interest enough that you're going to want to go and revisit it. So yeah, I think this is like a teaser that's going to help reinvigorate a certain interest in what was said in the past. And even for those who were interested throughout and like just really stayed on top of everything, I feel like this is going to make them want to rewatch and re-listen to hear and see things from a different lens. So yeah, I think this is masterfully done. I really can't wait to see what's to come. Let me know what you guys think. I'm really looking forward to this next album. I would definitely assume that you feel the same way. That's why you're watching this video and you watch that video. So, well, I mean, enjoy the ride is all I could say. I know I look forward to experiencing it and sharing that experience with you. So, yeah, that basically does it for this video. Thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. I appreciate it. And have a great day.